Hello everyone, how are you doing today? First off, I'd like to say that it is an honor and privilege to be able to be up here today and present these ideas. It is very inspiring to be a part of this. Secondly, I want to address my topic. I'm here to talk to you about partners in physical education. And simply put, what we do is we take students of various disabilities and we mainstream them in with our regular students, and we find ways to make our classroom goals work, our IEP goals work, and anything that we're confronted with. Now, when I was originally signed up for this TED Talk, I was excited to be able to present this. But as we got closer, the anxiety started to mount. The heart started beating harder. I even had some fear crept in. But what I did was I thought about what we do in our classroom each day. So this morning, I went to my classroom and I said, I need your help. I'm worried, I'm scared. I have anxiety just like you do. And I need to find a way to make sure that everything we've done in this class is able to come out in this speech of anywhere from 8 to 12 minutes. Now, if you know me, that is a very difficult thing to do. But how do you get something you've worked on for a substantial part of your life and make sure you get your point? Well, here goes. Over a decade ago, I was very lucky to have a lot of personal and professional growth happen in a very short period of time. I was given the opportunity to start and develop a class. Now, I didn't do this by myself. I was very fortunate enough to have a mentor in the name of Joe Murray, who helped guide me and give me the knowledge that he had from previous years. And we were able to form that team concept and bounce ideas off of each other. That is a key component in what we are trying to do every day, that teamwork attitude. Now, on top of this, we weren't exactly sure how this class was going to start. So we literally walked into the gymnasium and we said, who wants to be awesome? We need you, we need you. We presented the class to people. When people joined in, and we started to do something truly special. We started to break down barriers and walls and find ways to interact with each other. Now, that doesn't mean that on certain days we have certain things that happen and we have to find ways around them, but we do it as a team. We work together. In our classroom, as I mentioned, we have students at various levels. And those students, we have to find ways to reach them. How do we do an activity, a game, and find a way to make it available for the individual that is using a walker or a wheelchair? How do we allow the individual that might not be able to see or might not be able to speak, how do we involve them in? And that's what we do on a daily basis. Find ways to succeed, to make it around obstacles that are in front of us. And it's not always easy. It's a day-to-day thing, like I mentioned. Sometimes weeks, months, sometimes even years when we're doing things like the swimming unit. But special things happen when you empower your students and you give them understanding and you work with them and you let them realize that inside we can find these answers if we all just do it together. I always tell our students that it's important to understand that we are all unique and different. And that's okay. Where sometimes we're in a world where we use those differences to separate ourselves, we find a way to bring them together. I mean, let's realize. We turn on the TV, you hear it all the time. You're in the newspaper, conflicts are around us. How do we get through them? How do they occur? It's because of differences. And those differences cause us to sit at different sides of the cafeteria, to maybe go to different districts, to maybe not send our kids to the same schools, to maybe find a way to segregate them, go to different places that others are not allowed to go. And it's key that we get together and we share each other's differences so we begin to understand that no matter how unique and different we all are, we still have the same wants and desires to be loved, cared for, and appreciated. And when we preach that tolerance, that understanding, and that acceptance, tremendous things happen. You know, as I had to sit back and try to reflect on everything I wanted to tell you, it was very difficult because over this decade, so many things have occurred. And I had a lot of conflicts. You know, one of my conflicts today is standing on this red dot. It's not easy for me to do. I need to be able to move around and interact with you all. You know, we understand that there are different rules for different people, and how do we get through that? And I see as educators, it's really important that our job, it's vital in our job, that we preach that understanding. We teach people how to work together. Because when we work together, we could accomplish anything. So let me rephrase this class for you and give you a little example of actually how it works. We started off as just adapted physical education, where basically we had a one-on-one model, where it was a teacher and students of various needs, working with maybe a couple paraprofessionals. So what we ended up doing was we took originally our life skills class, and we partnered regular ed students, like I mentioned, with that, and we said, let's make our goals achievable. But as we began to do that, some unique things happened. An awesomeness, if you will, that my mentor likes to say. We realized that other students were becoming a part of this as well. Teachers would come up to us, administrators, staff members, and they would come and they would say, I've got a student for you. I got somebody who could really benefit from your class. And as we began to talk about the class more within our staff, we realized that we could incorporate students with emotional disabilities, our autism students, no matter what spectrum they're on, our hearing impaired, our vision impaired, our English as a second language learners. We realized that we were a microcosm of the school, a melting pot, if you will. And when we took this philosophy, we realized that this is basically the real world. This is how it works. So we took those concepts we're doing in class and we applied them to everyday life. And we started forming bonds with different groups and agencies. Basically, in our class, we have this motto. And the motto goes, if we learn how to play together, we learn how to live together. And that's pretty empowering. If you learn how to play together, you learn how to live together. So using positive interactions, a socially appropriate behavior, you learn how to live together in that same manner. Interesting. My students believe that we can go on and spread this throughout the entire world. And I believe them. Because what I see in our classroom is empowering and allows them to go out and make differences in the world. Now, as I mentioned, we built relationships with other areas, and that was key. We first started within our school. We realized that as we were bringing in different parts of our school, we needed to branch out and connect with them. So we reached out to our special education department, our transition coordinators, our pupil service, our administrators, and we started to build a foundation of what needed to occur to get these students into those classes and make them work. And next thing you know, we're sharing these ideas with different disciplines within our school. We're reaching out to our art department, our theater department. Basically, at some point in time, we have facilitated some type of instruction with every department within our school. And it wasn't just because of our ideas, it was our students' ideas. Mr. Laughlin, I'd like to try this. Or maybe we could do this. Hey, I learned this in class. Can we do that here? Yes. Let's find a way to connect it. Let's find a way to bring it together. The second part of relationship building is we started to build that with other communities as well. Whether it was us presenting this in other schools, or through talks, or word of mouth, administrators or faculty members going to other school districts, it started to spread. They would contact us. What is this about? Can we come see your program? And next thing you know, we started to build that community and that web that makes such a difference. And to this day, we're sharing ideas, interacting, developing social events, sporting events that we're all partaking in, and it's creating a community of acceptance, understanding, and tolerance. Now, the other component of that with relationships is reaching out to those other agencies and programs that are out there. You know, we've developed a great relationship with Special Olympics on the state and county level. We're partnering up next week to do a baseball tournament at the Miracle League field in South Hills. We've also reached out to our local businesses and groups that are around us. And we said, how can we incorporate you and make you a part of this? So that once again, we can apply those real world, real life experiences within our classroom. This has taken some time to get going. As I mentioned, it was well over a decade that we started this program ago to interact with others. But the neat and unique thing now is we see individuals playing it forward. When I go into the cafeteria, no longer are we on different sides of the cafeteria. We're eating together. Maybe we're taking each other out for that night at the mall or going to a movie. Or maybe we know prom's coming up and we need to get that dress and shoes to match. It's going to each other's sporting events, the musical, band concerts, theater concerts, in supporting each other. It's allowing our athletes to become student mentors. On top of that, we're teaching how to, once again, work together, to positively interact. So when we're going through those hallways, we get to look over at someone and say, hey, you having a bad day? Let's get back up and get going again. Let's interact. Let's have a positive experience. And once again, we're learning how to play together and learning how to live together. What I'm asking you here to do today is this. Go home, challenge yourself, challenge your class, the makeup of it. Learn how to interact with each other. I thought this was just a PE thing, that we were just going to contain this within PE and work with it, but I realized the importance and the brilliance of it when you got to integrate out and mask out through other areas. That's what really started to enhance the program and make it special. But also let me be clear, this wasn't a one-person show, as I mentioned before. I had a mentor that originally started with it, and on top of that, you have to build those relationships. We build them with our life skills teachers and our transition coordinators, like I mentioned. And anybody else that wants to be part of that team. That's what really gets that concept going, which really gets people understanding what we're trying to accomplish here, and really makes that worthwhile. So, as you have those conversations, please continue to keep playing it forward. I want to thank you all for your time this evening. Be safe. Thank you.